Coming up in Down Under EV Adventures, this is the BMW iX3, a mid-size SUV that I've got for the next 4 or 5 days here in Perth. Let's have a look at it. Welcome back everyone. So the hunt for my next EV continues, and I had the opportunity to rent this mid-size BMW iX3 SUV for the next 5 days or so here in Perth. So I've just come from a rainy pickup at the airport and I've driven it back home, but we're going to start at the airport. We're going to hop inside and just have a quick look at it, and I'll give you my first impressions, and then later on we'll drive back to my Airbnb and we'll have a little bit look in the closer detail at it. So let's join me in a very wet Perth evening at the airport. Okay, I'm at the airport and I've just picked up the car. Now I've deliberately not looked much at the car, so I don't know much about it, and I wanted to do that so that I could really have a sort of fresh approach when I sat in the car. The first thing I noticed was these lights here on the side, the ambient lights, which looks quite nice, and I quite like the way this is angled. Tom, I don't know who Tom is, but it's not me. And it's got a nice big screen here inbuilt into the dash. The seats are fairly comfortable, and it seems quite roomy and spacious here at the front. You can do a bit with the seats. So my absolute very first impressions are, it's not a bad car. Is it as luxurious as, say, the Sea Lion 7 that I sat in not that long ago? Probably not. But it does have a sort of German feel to it. Now, I've never been a huge fan of BMW, not their petrol cars anyway. I was more of an Audi lover. Probably had something to do with a certain movie in the middle of the 90s with Robert De Niro in it. Anyway, I'm going to drive this back to my Airbnb now and have a closer look at it. Okay, let's start with the outside of the car now. The garage light here I'm staying is pretty awful. So the car is black, and I've noticed it's got Tasmanian number plates, so not sure what the story is there. Quite a tall car. It's considerably bigger than the Atto 3, and I'd probably say it's a little bit taller than the Sea Lion, but not quite as long. That would be my guess. Wheels look okay. It's got some illuminated scuff plates there which look pretty cool, and you already saw the interior lights there, but I'll show you more of the interior in a minute. It's got a sort of rear spoiler, shark fin antenna. Don't know how well you can see that. So the light is atrocious here. Reminds me a little bit of the Subaru Forester shape from a few years ago. Alright, let's have a look inside. Starting with the passenger seat here. It feels like a leather, or it could be synthetic, I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, it's fairly comfortable. You've got electric seats on both sides. And it looks a little bit dated, I would say. I'm just on the driver's side now, and I'll just start it. So you've got a stop-start button there. It's a little bit busy here, but I do like the fact that it does have physical buttons, especially for your climate control. Now, when I was driving along, I couldn't find the cruise control. I also couldn't see any consumption values. They just have something on the right hand side here which tells you how much you're using, but it doesn't give you like a readings. Obviously there's something in the menus there that I need to go through. Now I had to get used to driving, being a European car, indicators on the left hand side and the wipers on the right. So that's always something you have to take into consideration when you drive a European car. Lots of buttons here on the steering wheel. and I just can't work out how to do the cruise control. I've tried all sorts of things. There's a horrible lane assist, which isn't very good. Apart from that, it was fairly unintrusive when I drove it, so first impressions aren't too bad in that respect. Now the GPS is pretty old-fashioned. This screen is fairly small, but you can sort of access quite a lot of things. Is it fast? Let's have a look. What do you think of that interface? It's pretty old-fashioned, isn't it? It looks like it's something from about 5 or even 10 years ago. Anywho. Here we go. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. It looks like there might be a charging port there as well. I'll just turn these lights on here. So we've got a couple of cool lights there. SOS button, okay. I'll go into more detail when I do the full review, but there you go. It looks like a charging port here for the phone, and like I said, a lot of buttons here. And I wonder if there's a cruise control. Nope, not that I can see. You got sport, comfort, eco, driving modes. So here you can see this is a speed limiter when I try to turn that on. If you press set, it doesn't work. This one's a lane centering, and this one's an assist mode. So if you press that, it says press button for activation. And something in the corner up there came on, like a sort of lane keeping thing. Cruise control cannot be activated. Maybe it has got something to do with this. I'll have to play around with that tomorrow, because I really like to drive around with cruise control, especially when I'm on the freeway, which I'll be driving tomorrow. So I'm going to have a play around with this car now, see if I can work out how to get the economy statistics on the screen, because I'm going to do a range test starting from today. So I'll be able to cover a couple of 100 kilometers at least in that time, and I'll be doing a fair old mix of city and highway driving, so it'll be a good reflection of how economical this car is. This one, I don't know the year of it. I suspect it's probably last year's model, because it's done 54,000 kilometers, so it's probably last year's, maybe even the year before, but it's definitely not this year's model. They don't sell an all-wheel drive version of this car in Australia, so this is a rear-wheel drive version. So first impressions are, it's not bad. It was fairly easy. Most people could jump in it straight away and drive it. That wouldn't be an issue to do. I'll just put this in park, turn that off. So most people could just hop in this car and drive it, similar to like an Atto, so sort of fairly user-friendly. It was reasonably okay to drive. Once it was in sport mode, it had a little bit of performance. Nothing to write home about, obviously, because it's just a rear-wheel drive and not an all-wheel drive. Here's the charging port here. I don't know how well you can see that. In the next few days, I'm going to give this a good test, and I'll do a full review on it, and you'll be able to see it in the light of day. Hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit better than this first little sneak preview of it. Okay, that's it for the first impressions of the BMW iX3. Now before I go, I'll just give you a quick look inside the boot. Now that's a fairly decent boot size. I'll put it on the screen how big it is, but that's not bad. Obviously no spare tyre, but we've got some cables here, if you can see them. I might test that out, make sure the car is definitely 100% charged to start my test tomorrow. The iX3 has a NMC battery chemistry, but don't tell those ICE drivers that, because they'll think it's some dirty nickel that we got from Indonesia. Anyway, you can see the battery size there on the screen, a usable of about 74 kilowatts. And that's our quick look at the BMW iX3. Right, I could do the sign off, and stay tuned for a full review on this car. Thank you very much for watching, really appreciate it. Take care as always, and we'll see you very soon with more great stuff on Down Under EV Adventures. Bye!